what we completed our discussion with solids, liquids, and gases. A little bit of recap on whatever we discussed. We said that everything later boils down. What you can sit aram se. Everything at last boils down to what? It boils down to interparticular force of attraction, which in higher grade or in this grade itself we'll later study as intermolecular force of attraction, and the interparticle space. So if you find that solids are held together closely, why? Because the interparticle force of attraction is maximum in solid. That's why solids have a definite shape. So I believe you have read this thing, like what is solid, liquid, gas. You will definitely get one question in your first term, like distinguish between solid, liquids, and gas. See, the CBSE what you call questioning pattern is very funny and what to say, sometimes harsh. You have only a 80-mark paper. Out of that 80-mark paper, you will have 22, 22, 26, roughly like that. Okay, not 20, 60, 60, 20-mark paper, 22, 26 in that order. So in 22, not that everything will come. So read everything, because what has been asked, if you are unable to answer that, then it will be a sorry part. आपका मार्क्स बहुत कम है, इसलिए आपका एफर्ट ज्यादा लगता है इसमें, ठीक है? So we now go to temperature today, and then we'll go to change of state. So little bit more than the syllabus I'll cover. Your syllabus has been reduced drastically, and if you go by that, then your grade 11 will be a big issue, temperature. So let's try and understand first what is temperature and what is heat. This is a generic knowledge, whether this will be useful for your physics also, for your chemistry also. If you say, are you teaching the content right now directly as per the textbook? My answer would be no. So first let us understand what is heat. Heat is a form of energy. Have you understood? Heat is a form of energy. And there is nothing called cold in physics. There is nothing called cold in physics. So we can have two bodies, and both the bodies, suppose this body is at a temperature minus 21 degrees Celsius, and this body is at a temperature of minus 25 degrees Celsius. So as per a layman, I would ask, which is much more colder? This is more cold. But in physics, we don't say cold. We will say this body is a hot body, and this is a less hot body. Cold नाम की कोई चीज नहीं होती है physics में. Everything that we discuss is terms of heat and hotness. Okay. So the heat content in this body is more, right? And the heat content in this body is less. What does temperature tell me? Temperature is a measure. It is a measure of the heat content. है ना? Just try and ask yourself, had I not given you these two datas, you would not have been able to tell me which body is a hotter body. If you do you agree or not? जब तक ये interest लो, ये interesting topic है. Unless and until you would have known these figures, you will not be able to tell who is hot and who is less hot. I'm not using the word cold. That means, what does temperature tell me? Temperature tells me the measure of the heat content. If the temperature is more, the heat content of a body is more. If the heat content of a body is more, the body is said to be a hot body. Minus 21 is a greater temperature as compared to minus 25. So minus 21 has more heat. Yes or no? So what about minus 25? Minus 25 lost more heat. As a result, its temperature went down. फिर भी हम cold की बात नहीं करेंगे. Cold literature में चलता है. Physics में everything is said in terms of heat and heat content. Okay. Now, if a body is hot, say this is a body, and this body is going to have, say you are supplying heat, right? When you supply heat, there are particles inside this body. These particles always have some amount of kinetic energy with them. Do you agree or not? Let's say this body has got 6 particles. So the kinetic energy with this particle is Ke1. This is say Ke2. This is say Ke3. This is Ke4, Ke5, and let's say this is Ke6. You should. This will not be asked in your grade 9, but keep this concept ready with you. Temperature hota kya hai? Now, every particle has a different sort of kinetic energy with it. And there are many particles. We can't go and ask everyone, Tumhara kinetic energy kitna hai? How much is your kinetic energy? Now, when you heat, you are supplying additional energy. Now, energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. So what happens when you heat? The heat energy gets converted into kinetic energy. Do you agree or not? Right. If the kinetic energy goes up, then what happens? These particles will now vibrate much more vigorously. They're always in motion. ये और ज्यादा वाइब्रेट करते हैं. As a result, they break apart their intermolecular force of attraction. इसी से तो solid liquid बनता है ना. Solid becomes liquid because the particles are no more held close together. Why are they not held close together? Because we are supplying heat externally, and if you're supplying heat externally, what are you doing? You are supplying kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy will make them vibrate more vigorously. As a result, break their bonds with each other और free होके जाना शुरू करते हैं. इतना समझ में आया? मान लीजिए after giving the kinetic energy, after giving the heat and all, this is the kinetic energy. Now if I tell you what is the average kinetic energy, the average kinetic energy will be sum. Average क्या होता है? Average sum of all kinetic energy, right? Sum of all Ke divided by number of particles. Very simple. What is the average that you scored in your subjects? Add all the scores of the subjects and divide it by the number of subjects. So this is your average kinetic energy. Temperature actually tells you what is the average kinetic energy of particles of a body. This is the exact definition of temperature. Temperature is a measure of the degree of hotness or coldness. A body with more temperature is supposed to have more heat content with it, and it is considered to be a hot body. A body with less temperature has less heat content with it, and therefore the body will be considered that it is a less hot body. And whenever you are talking about temperature, you are actually concentrating on what? You are concentrating on the average kinetic energy of the particles. This is, every kinetic energy will be different. So what is the average kinetic energy? This is the definition of temperature. Is it useful, or will it be asked in your grade 9? No, it will not be asked in grade 9, but you should know the difference between temperature. Heat is a form of energy. Temperature energy नहीं है. टेम्परेचर एनर्जी को नापने का एक जरिया है. उसमें हम कुछ नंबर्स डाल देते हैं जिससे आपको पता चलता है कि एक बॉडी के अंदर कितनी एनर्जी है. आर वी फाइन? आर वेरी गुड. Come, now we come back to, so we have something called temperature. We need to study this property, temperature. And temperature, we need to know what is the SI unit of temperature. We need to also know what are the common units of temperature. Okay, what are the common unit of temperature? Now, let's participate in some discussion. Okay? Okay. Shall we? Yes. Okay. So let's discuss. See, science cannot be, you guys have problem with you guys always remain silent. Silent रहने से science नहीं होता है. Okay? Now don't you open your mouth also. If I'm asking someone, let that someone first answer. Okay, I'm asking Aditya. Aditya, you tell me, have you heard about viral fever? Yes. And God forbidden, it must have happened once to us, every one of us. Can you tell me, have you ever suffered from fever, high grade fever? Yes. How worried was your parents? What was your body temperature roughly? 101. So very good. Hold on now. Now see, we will have some harsh examples. So this is Aditi, right? Lying down because she is having fever. And what is her temperature now? 101. Right? And on that day, what has happened? What is making you, no, you're continuously laughing for last maybe what you call 5 to 10 minutes. And I see, I have crossed your age, so I can tell you also what makes you laugh. You might deny now. Every time I use the word hot body, you keep on laughing. Yes or no? Let's be honest. Yes. So enough of hot body you can see on screen. You are thinking that whatever you're seeing on YouTube, some models working hot and hot, that is coming up. If you want, then I'm adding another word to it. You know, that is also spelled as in slang as hot. And if you concentrate too much on this hot during the study period, the marks you are going to get is cold. That time, don't ask parents to come with me with the cold face and say, my son got cold marks. Then I'll say, because during the class, he was thinking everything of hot body. I'm very harsh. I have crossed your age. Looking at your face, I can understand what you are thinking. Now you can deny. I'm happy that you have told me the honest part. Was this not what you were thinking around? Oh, hot girls and hot. That is not this hot. Please concentrate. We will talk about that also. When it comes, we'll talk about that. Now concentrate on hot body in physics means a body which is having more temperature. Have you understood? Otherwise, what will happen? The score that you will get will make your body not cold. In physics, there is nothing cold. Less hot. Then people will not look at you. This one is less hot. This hot. No, you'll not get someone like me. I know your pulse. Yeah. So this is Aditi lying down, and her temperature, as she said, is 101. And there comes somebody like me in her house on that day, and I am generally supposed to be very ruthless. So I ask, where is my student? They say, she's lying down, sir. Viral fever 101. And I ask for a cup of tea. And I say, the tea they served me was a little bit cold. Why is the tea not kept on her forehead? 101 is her temperature, right? Chai garam karna chahiye. तो ऐसे चाय लाया एंड आई सेड सर थोड़ा गर्म करके देते, ठंडा हो गया आपका कॉफी. नहीं आदिति के सर पे रख दीजिए ना ऐसे, वो भी तो 101 पे है. एट व्हाट टेम्परेचर वाटर बॉइल्स 100, तो 101 ऐसे रख दो. वी कैन सेव गैस ऑन दैट डे एट अदिति's हाउस. बेचारा का फीवर भी है. Hey, only I'll ask you, nobody opens his mouth, nobody Googles. Enjoy. So what went wrong, Aditi? Think that I'm harsh and I want to make my cup of coffee get heated on your forehead like this. Can I do that? Why not? You are suffering with 101. And the coffee that somebody serves me, once the coffee boils at 100, you mix the coffee, right? Somebody may not go that hot. Somebody may drink it at a little bit less than that. So I need to put the coffee mug back in the microwave. Let's put it on her forehead. Possible. Humanitarian wise, it looks very bad. The girl is suffering and you're heating coffee on her forehead. It looks bad, but possible. है ना? क्यों नहीं?
Boiling temperature 100 Celsius
ये 100 Fahrenheit है. There's a big difference. This girl is suffering from 101 degrees Fahrenheit. And the coffee boils at, water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Both are completely different thing. I love you a lot and I'm giving you $1,000 and you're very happy. Huh? Jerry sir is giving me $1,000. Did I tell you what dollars? Zimbabwean dollars. Bikari ban ke rahoge road mein. You're thinking American dollars you're getting. No, I'm giving you Zimbabwean dollars. India se bhi battar rate hai. Every day print dollars. Do you understand? So let's first understand what is the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Your book will always say between Celsius and Kelvin. But आपको अगर science पढ़ना है तो ऐसे पढ़ना है. How many of you could judge this answer when the example was given? Be honest. Be honest. Vakul said, how many of you could find, Vakul I'm saying, Abhik said that, how many of you actually could find the flaw in my question? Be honest. If you have been able to find the flaw, then raise your hand. If not, then it's not that it's bad. It is an opener for you to enjoy the discussion. We could not answer this question. That means something that we don't know. थोड़ा जानने की कोशिश कीजिए. So tomorrow when you land up, I'll hold my example for some time and then I'll come back with my example. Don't worry. Okay. So there is a unit of temperature called Fahrenheit. And you should know this because all of you are, majority of you are what? UBIs. You know what is UBI? You don't know what is a UBI? Anyone can tell me what is a UBI? No. Unfortunately, born in India. I just want to go to America. So more you go to America is not going to talk in terms of Celsius. They're going to talk in terms of Fahrenheit. So make sure you know what is Fahrenheit. Otherwise, you'll be a Dumbo. So there is something called Fahrenheit and there is something called Celsius. Right? Worldwide, for any daily, worldwide for daily measurements, we use Celsius or degree Celsius, whereas the US and the Caribbean and some parts of Latin America, for daily we still use Fahrenheit, which is degree F. What is the temperature in Hyderabad today? 36. America में 36 मत बोलना, अभी देखोगे मजा कैसे आते रहता है. Americans will never say in Celsius. So let's first interpret these two scales. Then it will become, once it is becoming clear for you for lifetime, you will be able to understand. So both the scales are actually based on a simple concept which is called the ice point as well as the boiling point of water. Samjhiye. Right? This is my scale of degree Fahrenheit and this is my scale of degree Celsius. Now see, as Indians you will become so smart. Next 5 minutes के बाद you will convert temperatures ऐसे ही. अब सुनो. This is called the ice point. Ice point means freezing point of water, ice point of water, and this is called the steam point. Steam point means the boiling point. Okay, I hope you know this 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, whereas when you come to the Fahrenheit scale, this is 32 degrees Fahrenheit and 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Have you understood? Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Water boils at 212 Fahrenheit. For an American, water boils at 212 Fahrenheit. And you, Desi, for you, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. But for an American, water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we need to have a quick conversion between the two. Right. Let's first see what is the conversion. So if you see, what is the difference from, what is the difference from here to here? 100. And what is the difference from here to here? 180. This is 180. 180, 212 minus 32 is 180. 180 corresponds to 100. Right? 100 difference corresponds to how much? 180. Therefore, Fahrenheit will always be more. Fahrenheit data is always more. Just see 32. For 0, it is 32. For 100, it is how much? 212. So we say, if you want to find out the measurement in degree Fahrenheit, every 100 is corresponding to how much? 180. So 1 unit corresponds to how much? 1.8. 100 units correspond to 180, means 1 unit corresponds to 1.8. Did you understand this simple logic or not? So 1.8 times the Celsius temperature. Whatever is the Celsius temperature, you will multiply how much? 1.8. Where did this 1.8 come from? Sir, 180 corresponds to 100. So 1 corresponds to 1.8. But there is a problem. There is a paidaishi difference. When you are 0, this fellow was how much? Usko adjust karna padega. 32. So if you Google, then you will get degree Fahrenheit is 9 by 5 degrees Celsius plus 32. 9 by 5 करके देखो तो 9 को 5 से divide करो. 5 ones are 5. 0.4 comes down. 0. 5 eights are 40. 1.8. Now your choice, either you mug this up or you know the basics so that you can deduce it any day to your choice. Have you understood? Now, when you go to America, every time you can do this calculation, 1.8, then 32. Now we need some desi jugaad. So his example only, he was laughing. So let's enjoy his laugh now. So he's in the beaches of Miami, Florida. Understood? और सब आप hot ही देख रहे हो यहाँ पे, है ना? Wait, your example. And this is our fellow who has gone from India there. Oh, big eyes. Lit up. And now what is the temperature? This is Miami. So these people are going to tell him a temperature, and these people will tell, he will say, yeah, same, it is in our Hyderabad also. It is around 36, 38. We go to the swimming pool. I said, 36? Boy, you're going to be nuts. It's 110 today. 110 Fahrenheit. He must be thinking, oh, 110, water will boil. Now, how do you convert 110 फटाफट? अब इसमें हम जुगाड़ लगाएंगे. This is roughly 1.8 मतलब कितना? 2 से मल्टीप्लाई कर सकते हैं. ये ज्यादा देर तक नहीं चलते हैं, जुगाड़ है जब. और 32 की जगह कितना ऐड करेंगे? 30. So how this is Stella and this is Maria. Stella and Maria reported a temperature in Miami of how much? 110. Take out 30 from 110. How much is it? 80. 80 divided by 2. Oh, for the Hyderabadi, it is 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah. I also remember in our Pebble City, I jump into the pool. Have you understood? Then someday you start saying, it was very cold. They start, now scene changes. Now our Ved is in Alaska. Okay. And again, Stella and Maria are saying, it's very hot. It's very cold. It's 38. 38? In 38, we go to the beach. Our fellow is saying in 38, we go to the beach. So you again convert. Take out 30 from 38. How much is it? 8. Divide 8 by 2. How much is it? 4. Oh, my Himalayan trek temperature. It is cold. And so when you're having a discussion with somebody, where do you come from in India? I come from the southern part. There's a place called Hyderabad. What's the temperature around? Something around 35 Celsius. Boy, we don't know. We need Fahrenheit. So what do you say? You become the quick Indian. 35 multiplied by 2 is how much? 70. 70 you add 30. 100. Oh, that's pretty hot. You must be having those coconut water. This is called learning science. Sikho. But you're not accurate. The accurate is 1.8 plus 32. But if you're doing a discussion, 1 minute. If you're doing a discussion, at that time you won't pop out your calculator. This shows how fast you can switch between two scales. ये लोग देखते रह जाएंगे. They'll keep on watching that how fast he goes. Yes, beta. 1 minute. Yeah, 18 by 10 also. Yeah. Vakul, 1 minute. Tell me. 18 by 10, yeah. Generally, you will get nowadays you will have a mobile and you will convert. But days when we never had mobiles and all, how did people have the art of communication? How do you quickly swap the temperature? The best way is instead of 1.8 multiply by 2, 2 multiplication we all can do unless and until you are an IDIOT. IDIOT means idiot, yeah. And you can add 30. Good. So आज से आप बोल पाएंगे कुछ भी temperature in Fahrenheit. So let's say, what was her temperature when she was having viral fever? 101. 101. 101 से 100, 30 निकाल दीजिए. कितना हो गया? 70. So it's 71. 71 को 2 से divide कर दीजिए. She was around 35.5. 35.5 में human body में fever है. This is rough. Generally our fever comes around 37 के आसपास Celsius में. You know what is fever point? 98.1. When your temperature crosses 98.1 Fahrenheit, then the thermometer will start beeping. Kick. Yes, Vakul, any question on this?
So, because previously, when we are telling any example, heat the object. So, sir, when they say particularly the heat, what is the given temperature of that heat?
That depends upon how much heat content you are giving. So, when a water is boiling, at that time, the heat content in it is equivalent to a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so it depends on the object.
Otherwise, you can't see. Another interesting thing he has pulled up. Okay, let me tell you. Now, another interesting thing. 2 iron rods are kept for you, Vakul. Heated, red hot. One is 250 degrees Celsius. One is 253 degrees Celsius. Which is hotter?
Obviously,
Can you touch and tell me which is hotter? Can you touch and tell me which is hot? No. No, because you are thinking that touch karke kaise pata chalega. No, you are not thinking what I am asking you. Okay, all of you must be using geyser water for bathing. Do you agree? This is your geyser. Can you take the geyser water when it's absolutely hot on your body? No. At that time, the geyser is hardly how much 45 degrees Celsius. 45 degrees Celsius के ऊपर अगर मैं गीजर को हीट कर दूं ना, you will just touch the water like this. That means at 45, it is anything above 45 is enough to burn your skin. How are you sensing the hotness? You are sensing the hotness to the skin of your hand. Once the skin sensor is gone, how does it make a difference whether it is 250 or it is 53? You won't be able to touch. We are not sensing the temperature of the frying pan. We are sensing what is our tolerance limit. When you touch a frying pan, दो equivalent hot frying pan को हाथ से छू के बोल सकते हैं कौन ज्यादा गर्म है कौन ज्यादा ठंडा है? Not at all. So we need some numbers. Suppose you are baking a cake and they say the temperature should be 250. Will you touch the pan and say, no sir, it is 222? आपका हाथ जल जाएगा. You need what? Thermometer. That's why we need numbers, and that number is given by temperature. Once your hand is burned, after that, how difference does it make what you are sensing? Can you touch and feel the difference? You burn your hand at this temperature itself. How can you measure this temperature? So what you need is a temperature scale. So going back to our discussion, which was about temperature, in your course, you won't be asked to convert between Celsius and Fahrenheit. But if you are asked, you also know how to convert it. So we say a degree Fahrenheit measurement is always 1.8 times the degree Celsius measurement plus 32. This is the correct measurement. Okay. This is not there in your syllabus, but when you go to grade 11, this will pop up. So let's go back to our discussion now and let's see what is there in our syllabus. So our syllabus has got two scales. One is the SI scale and one is the scale of, right? So this is my degree Celsius and this is the SI unit of temperature, and the SI unit of temperature is represented by K, named after Lord Kelvin. Right? In engineering and all, we will never represent things with degree Celsius. We will represent it with what? Kelvin. It's named after Lord Kelvin. Acha. आ जाइए. So again the same concept between the two scales. Both are based on ice point of water and steam point of water. So this is my steam point. आपके बुक में ऐसे रहेगा ही नहीं, ऐसे ही दे देगा एक डेटा, फिर उसको रटते रहो बैठ के और भूल गए तो भूल गए. Ice point and steam point. So for Celsius, this is 100 degrees Celsius. This is how much? 0 degrees Celsius. Now the beauty between these two scales is, while with the Fahrenheit, it was not linear. This was 180. This was how much? This was 100. Now in case of Kelvin and Celsius, it is much more better. Here water boils at 373 Kelvin. Okay. And water freezes at 273 Kelvin. Do you see the beauty? Difference of 100, difference of 100. इसीलिए, अच्छा, difference of 100 means if this is my ruler and I grade it, I start grading it, ऐसा grade करते हैं, मजा लो ना, तो मैं चुप्पी चुप्पी साइंस पढ़ते हो. कितने grades आएंगे इसमें? 100 grades आएंगे. If a player scores 100 in cricket, what do you call? Century. That means cent is a word which is related to 100. Centimeter. इसीलिए इसको बोलते हैं 36 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. द ग्रेडिंग इज डन इन सेंस, इसीलिए इसको सेंटीग्रेड बोलते हैं. द एक्चुअल यूनिट इज डिग्री सेल्सियस. Many people will say, hey, what is the temperature of Hyderabad today? 38 degrees centigrade. Centigrade is a grading. Unit is what? Degree Celsius. So have you understood one basic difference? That while here it was 180 to 100, here it is 100 to 100. So now see the beauty of mathematics again. Let's take a body. Let's take a body. And the body's temperature right now is 10 degrees Celsius. Agreed? What should be the corresponding out here? 283 Kelvin. इसमें 10 उठा तो इसमें भी 10 ही उठेंगे ना. 100 का खेल है भाई. समझ में आया? Let us heat it another 20 degrees. What should be the temperature now? Another 20 degrees. Temperature should be 30 degrees. What will be the temperature here? 283, 293, 303. Difference between Celsius and this one has no change. 20 degrees Celsius, this is 20 Kelvin. So if you are dealing between difference of temperature, say I am doing a maths problem, ICSE people have it in 10, you have it in 11. where there is something that you have to do as T2 minus T1. See the beauty. T2 minus T1. In book, the question is given as 30. In book, the question is given as 30 and 10. But you need to use the values in Kelvin because Kelvin is the SI unit, just like we were using meters in physics. तो आप क्या करोगे? आप बेवकूफ की तरह यहाँ पे लिखोगे 303 और यहाँ कितना लिखोगे 283. ये सब लिखने की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है. यहाँ पे टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस कितना है 20 डिग्री सेल्सियस. So in Kelvin, what will be the temperature difference? 20 Kelvin. Scales are same, na? So difference doesn't matter. What is the difference between your age and my age? Say roughly. Say if you are 14 years old, I am 47 years old. 24, 34, 44 and 3. 33 years is our difference. If I add 10 years to your life, you have to add 10 years to my life also, right? And 10 years from now, what is the difference between our age? Wait, sir, let me calculate. In the year... आज अगर 33 years difference है तो कल भी तो 33 होगा ना. Unless and until you or me are born on a what, leap year. सर आपका तो 4 साल में एक बर्थडे होता है. ऐसा थोड़ी है. समझ में आया? The difference between two temperatures do not change. However, their values change. So what should we keep in our mind for our conversion? 0 degrees Celsius is equal to how much? 273 Kelvin. This is the relation on which 1-2 marks question will come to you in exam. And say suppose somebody says, you know, I cooled the gas to 0 Kelvin. Look at the board. I cooled the gas to 0 Kelvin. यहाँ पे कितना हो जाएगा? Minus 273. This is the lowest temperature that you can think of theoretically. ये temperature कोई पहुंच ही नहीं पाता है. 273 is 0. यहां से नीचे जाने से आप कितना जाओगे? 273 नीचे जाओगे. तो 0 से नीचे जाओगे तो कितना जाओगे? Negative 273. So this is a relation which you should keep. Although you all don't ask a question, it's my duty to ask, have you understood? Even if you don't understand the Fahrenheit part, I'm not bothered. Have you understood how to find out what you call the conversion between Celsius and Kelvin? Celsius and Kelvin both are based on steam point and ice point. This part you will not find either in Lakshmi Singh or in NCERT. If you ever forget in your life, remember, ice point is 0, 273. Steam point is 100, 373. Both have 100 grades. ये भी 100 graded scale है, ये भी 100 grade. अगर यहाँ temperature difference कितना आ रहा है 20, तो यहाँ भी temperature difference 20 है. The only difference is this is 20 degrees Celsius, this is 20 Kelvin. But their actual values will be different. Got it? No doubt. So can we convert something? Negative 15 degrees Celsius. इसको convert कीजिए तो how much Kelvin आएगा? How much Kelvin? Negative 15 degrees Celsius is how much Kelvin? इतना करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. 0 पे कितना है? 273. Negative 15 मतलब यहां से 15 नीचे गए, यहां से भी 15 नीचे जाइए, तो 273 से 10 नीचे जाएंगे तो 263. Another 5, 258. Very easy. If you remember this drawing, everything is easy. Say somebody tells you that 291 Kelvin, what is the corresponding degrees Celsius? So you just see what is the difference. 273 to 291. How much? 273, 283, 293. It makes it 20. So 18 is the difference. Add 18 with 0. 18 degrees Celsius. Did you understand this logic, all of you all?
Yes, sir.
Kartika, have you understood? Please do not nod head, and it's not for her. I'm saying to everyone, अगर नहीं समझे हो 10 बार समझाऊंगा. But don't go later and tell, sir did not teach or I did not understand, because I still feel there is some gray cloud in this topic. I'll wait for 1 minute. Have you understood? Yeah, tell me, Bitu. Tell me. Kartika, tell me. No, I'm listening to you. You wanted to say something?
No, I just said that
or you understood? Anyone has any doubt? Hannah? Fine? Clear? Okay, very good. So can I progress from this? Is the concept of temperature understood? Temperature is a measure of the content of heat in a body. Temperatures are measured generally in a unit called degrees Celsius. However, in physics, chemistry, and other engineering related study, we need to follow the SI unit, which is Kelvin, named after Lord Kelvin. And the conversion is 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 273 Kelvin. They are both based on the same ice point and steam point, and the gradation is same 100. And if you were interested to learn about Fahrenheit, I told you about Fahrenheit also. But during revision, we will not have all these discussions. Okay. Our next is change of state. Change of state. Okay. So we have solid, we have liquid, and we have gas. Right from kiddo days, you have been studying all these things. Solid changes to liquid. A solid changes to liquid. What is this process known as? Melting. या फिर इसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? Fusion भी बोलते हैं. This process is known as melting. Ice melts to form water. This is what? This is a physical change. This is a physical change where the substance remains the same. It has just changed its state. Okay. Liquid changing to gas is known as condensation.
Evaporation.
No, not evaporation. Vaporization. Evaporation, we are not saying due to a reason, or you can also tell it as boiling. Vaporization or boiling. Have you understood? Okay. Have you seen odonil on your at your washrooms and toilets? Odonil, camphor. Does odonil become liquid? Naphthalene balls dekha hai. Do they become liquid? No. What happens to the naphthalene balls if we keep them with our garments? Suddenly they vanish one day. Odonil खत्म हो जाता है ना? कहाँ गया? हाँ? जूजू आके खा के गया क्या उसको? कहाँ गया? Odonil कहाँ गया? That was this process. Solid directly converted itself to gas. इस प्रोसेस को हम बोलते हैं sublimation. इसको हम बोलते हैं sublimation. Sublimation is the process in which a solid directly changes itself to gas. Some examples of sublimation are naphthalene balls, then freshener cakes that are kept in washrooms, dry ice. Okay, let's also talk about something called dry ice. So this is very important for Vakul because he's fond of drinking and eating anything outside. Dry ice means the ice that you get in all restaurants and all, ice should actually be served to you, which is from water. Have you understood? But storing ice which is made from water is a big task because if the temperature increases, this is going to melt and it's going to create a pool of water. So if you are non-vegetarian by diet and if you have visited fish markets and all, you will see a lot of ice out there. Those are not water, because just imagine if you have gone to Spar, say, okay, or if you have gone to Hypercity or metros, you would see so much of fishes out there and got an ice bed. पूरा ice अगर melt हो जाएगा तो पूरा shopping mall बह जाएगा. Those are not ice. Those are what? Those are carbon dioxide gas which has been directly solidified. Carbon dioxide gas directly solidified. That is known as dry ice. That is good for refrigeration purpose. ये कभी भी पिघलेगा नहीं. Have you seen in a lot of markets, you'll see people with thelas and big blocks of ice they are taking. Those ice will never drop off as water droplets. That is carbon dioxide solidified. The problem is when they mix this ice for edible purpose. This is immediately going to cause you throat problem. So all this सस्ता वो जो कुल्फी वाला रोड में रहता है ना, गोला वाला तुमको बना के देता है ना, गोला काला खट्टा गोला जो बीच में खाते हो जाके, all these are not water ice.
Even if you touch it, it burns your hand. It's like big cold burn.
That is different. I'm saying, and our friend, इसका इतना पेट खराब होता है ना वकुल का, all that happens because how many times he has eaten dry ice, you don't know. Anything that you eat outside with this street food and all, it's all dry ice. Even the ice that is carried by ice cream sellers who sell on cart. Now those carts cannot keep ice which is of water. ये तो पूरा पानी हो जाएगा अंदर में. क्या लेते हैं? Dry ice लेते हैं. So this process is known as sublimation. Let's see the reverse process. What are the reverse process? Liquid changing back to solid. What is it known as? Freezing. Okay, this is known as freezing. And gas becoming liquid. This is known as condensation. And gas becoming solid. In some books, this also will be written as sublimation, but the right word is deposition. In many books, this also will be written as sublimation, but the right word is deposition. हमें ये पूरा चीज पढ़ना है at a much more depth. Have we understood? Okay. So, going with a little bit of basics, heat in physics or chemistry is denoted by the letter Q. And as such, if I write Q, you will understand that Q stands for heat. Tell me one common sense. A solid can change to liquid. सुनो ना, सुनो कि सर नीचे करके कैसे लिखते रहते हो आप? ये क्लास वीडियो हो रहा है. What you all are doing is you all are not taking time to understand in class. You all are busy writing with your head down. That will not help you. Why am I then recording the class? Is it for the absentees guys? Then they should be like our days. Go and meet those guys who were present. उनका class notes लेके लिख लो. आपके स्कूल में वीडियो होता है क्या क्लास? नहीं ना. मैं आपको वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग क्यों देता हूं? आप पहले समझिए और घर पे जाके अपने here you not need a big book also. You can just come with a note. Just take down the salient points. Today sir talked about Kelvin. Today sir spoke about Fahrenheit. Today sir talked about centigrade, Celsius. Today I have covered something called vaporization. तो आज रात आप जब घर में पढ़ेंगे ना, if all the words are not covered, means you have not studied properly. Play this video once again, and at that time make your notes. They will be much more better and beautiful. And while making those notes, right now if I tell you something wrong, you are going to copy that wrong. At home when you will make it, you will cross question yourself. ये कहीं सर ने गलत तो नहीं बताया? Let me put a question mark. Let me ask this in the next class. That thing is not coming from your batch, which is a very, very big concern. If I take the batch which is senior to you, the current grade 10s, they used to make my life miserable. They were more interested to understand the concept. And I'm not here to dishearten you. Their performance in any competitive exam will be good. I'm not saying yours will be bad. Theirs will be good, guaranteed. क्योंकि वो चीज को समझा है. And you all can speak Hindi and English properly. So later you can always construct it into your own knowledge. I could have easily completed it by going through the NCERT content. Why am I bringing up the Fahrenheit content? Why am I weaving so many stories? It's not about me beating my drums. You ask yourself, we've got students from every school out here. Tell me, in one school where a content is taught to you in this manner, he was laughing with something. I don't blame that. I have also done in my school days. I have never ever, I've scolded him. Rather, I brought his content into my story and I weaved it. तुम्हें मैं फ्लोरिडा मायामी ले गया. तुम्हारा कौन सा स्कूल में टीचर तुमको ये कंटेंट में? रितिशा तो she will always, even if the seat is vacant, she will sit here. You'll make your sketches and all. Some other people, you are all busy writing. ऐसा थोड़ी साइंस पढ़ते हैं. मुझे ये नहीं पता आपको समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं. But if you ask me, a person who is talking for last 1 hour, before you also had a class, and I'm not lightweight, I'm bulky, I'm fat. So for me to stand and keep talking, I need some motivation. And that motivation comes from your faces. That yes, these guys are enjoying science. But what I find, you all are all rattu totas. You all are sitting like parrots. I don't know, till last year, this fellow used to speak so much in science. Now he has become silent. That's what I call age distraction. Something else is occupying your head right now. आपको शायद लगता है ये सब बोरिंग टॉपिक है. अगर है तो बोलो, मैं अपना काम रिड्यूस कर लूंगा ना. I'll just go by the NCERT and I ensure all of you will get 90 plus marks. You will get 90 सबको मिलता है. 11 में जाके सिर्फ फेल करोगे फर्स्ट टेस्ट में. Today I met one of my 11th grader while I was walking. Means he has just gone to 11. His 10th result is not yet out. And I asked him while he was going till his bus. He goes to Alan. कैसा लग रहा है? Sir. I said, how was grade 10? 10 to sir. Hardly 15 days. 10 was nothing, sir, he's telling me. सोने को time नहीं. This girl's brother, ask him what he went through. There is harsh days waiting for you. आपको इंटरेस्ट नहीं, आप सीधा लिखना शुरू कर देते हैं. आपको ये ड्राई आइस, you might study about sublimation and all in your school. I can bet if any of your school has ever, even if they bring out the topic of fish market and the ice, why does it not become so watery? Have you taken out fridge bottles at your home and you keep it on table? It becomes watery. Why does the shopping mall not become watery? There are such big fish shops, meat shops. आपका स्कूल में अगर ये बताता है ना, मैं अपना ये कान आपके सामने काट दूंगा. And if you say that sir is boasting, yes, sir is boasting. I know what I put behind to make this content interesting for you. But that reciprocation doesn't come. It's like I am a grandmother who keeps on telling you, you know, there were two brothers, Hansel and Gretel, or bachcha. And then the lady, बच्चा सो रहा है, पकड़ के एक चांटा मारो उस बच्चे को. या तो मुझसे कहानी मत बुलवाओ या फिर कहानी सुनो. आप लोग वीडियो नहीं देखते हो, कोई नहीं देखता है, वो मैं छोड़ दिया हूं. I once brought it up in grade 10 forum in parents. I now don't bring it out here also. How many students are you in my batch? 14 here. Online, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's rule out Karthika. She's very new. How many of you? 3. 14 and 3 makes it how much? 17. What is our class duration? 1 hour. So the video should get how many hours of viewership minimum? 17 hours. From which city? Hyderabad. And if Vakul is from Chennai, it will show me Chennai. Shall I open the YouTube analytics and show you right now? Now you will say, sir is crazy for viewership. अरे सर अपना वीडियो में कभी ये भी नहीं बोलता है लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो, ये करो, कुछ नहीं चाहिए. तुम पढ़ो यार. You people might not know there is an outsider who has commented on one of our rational numbers chapter. One person commented from Jammu and Kashmir. He's saying, आदमी वहां से देखता है, उसको अच्छा लगता है. And the other day, the last rational numbers class, somebody commented who is not from here at all. He has commented. आपने तो जाके उस वीडियो को भी नहीं देखा है, तो कहां से मेरा मोटिवेशन कहां से आता है? And I'm not saying you go and put like on my video or dislike on my, I'm least bothered. उससे मुझे मेरे को थोड़ी कमाना है YouTube से. That's not a monetized channel. But what pains me is that when I see that the R is only 1.3, it means that none of the child has gone. And you will say, no, sir, I understood everything in class. You cannot. You cannot. Every year when I teach, I learn something. That's why I write to every parent, thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn with so and so. But ये learning नहीं है जो आप कर रहे हो. आप जो ये देख के लिखते रहते हो ना, ये तो बेकार सी चीज है. ये तो टाइपिस्ट और स्टेनोग्राफी में होता रहता है ना. I'll narrate the story and you keep writing. Anyways, my job I will do. So heat we are going to represent by Q. So if you see solid to liquid is a process which is melting. Ask yourself, if I had some ice out here, do you expect the ice to melt into water directly? No. Why does it melt? It must be either getting heated or it must be absorbing heat from the atmosphere, right? Yeah.
Gas to solid.
Gas to solid will come. You first listen this much. 2 minutes ago, you were not even looking at the board. Now, all antennas have opened. Yeah. So what happens in this process, Q will be added. Learn these symbols. Q addition means it's a heat addition process. Tomorrow somebody explains you endothermic, exothermic. What is endothermic? A process which takes in heat. What is exothermic? A process which gives out heat. And somebody will tell you, is melting endothermic? Endothermic taking heat. No, melting to ठंडा ठंडा है. दोगे उल्टा आंसर लिख के. Melting is endothermic. Unless and until you apply heat, the ice is not going to melt to water. Have you understood? Even in this process, we are applying heat. Have you understood? Let's see. And in sublimation also, obviously you have to apply heat, right? If there is no heat or no contact, then the naphthalene balls will never actually, vanish away. Have you understood? Let us, yes.
So small now.
Hmm.
If we put, when we put the camphor pieces in the cover,
Hmm.
around the bottom, it still gets
Vaporized. Yes, because that normal temperature is normal to your body but abnormal to the camphor. For camphor, that temperature is much more. Okay. So if you put that camphor inside refrigerator, in fact, I gave you one day an example. I asked you, not related to this. Again, this is related to my frustration. I had told you that if you love science, go home, take a bottle of water and mix ORS or electrol in that and put it in the refrigerator. Has anyone done that? हुआ? एक ने किया है, इतना ही मेरी खुशी है. ये दिखाता है कि आपको साइंस पढ़ने की इच्छा है. आप रट के साइंस नहीं होता है जब तक आप फील नहीं करो. रट के करोगे ना, then you will again become one. I mean, India is filled with engineers, all third class engineers. That
I did chili powder.
now chili powder will not work. Don't do that. If I ask you to breathe in oxygen, don't go and breathe from the automobile exhaust. You will lose your life. At least do what I am asking you to do. Right? वो जैसे रोड में सब निकलते हैं ना, सारे इंजीनियर्स हैं. बताओ एक ट्यूबलाइट लगाने के लिए उससे नहीं लगता है. He is a waste to the country, waste to his parents' resources. Don't become that. If you see this process, this is a process which is, you have to remove heat. A liquid can become solid. Generally, so far, what we used to say, our ice cream becomes cone when we cool it. No, we are in physics, we are in chemistry. When we withdraw heat from it, you don't cool something in chemistry. What do you say? You withdraw heat. Similarly, condensation as a process is also removal of heat. Have you understood? Okay, a small question now. Suppose I take this water bottle out from the refrigerator, and today's temperature of Hyderabad, after some time, I see water droplets which has formed around here. And if I keep on a table, the water droplet is going to make a, Peppa Pig जैसे बोलता है ना, muddy puddle, water का puddle बना देगा. ये water आया कहाँ से? Vaporized in the air. Vaporization itself is addition of air. Does these questions strike your head? मैंने ठंडा पानी लिया और ठंडे पानी के बोतल को बाहर रख दिया अभी. I take out a crystal clear bottle. If I take it out after some time, it will become frosted, and then water droplets will appear on it.
Because of cooling,
क्या हो गया? कूलिंग कैसे हो सकता है? आप जैसे फ्रिज से बाहर निकाल रहे हो, आप तो हीट कर रहे हो इसको. फ्रिज वॉज कूलिंग. फ्रिज से बाहर आते ही, अच्छा, हाँ, read from Google, you read properly. Excellent. Yes, correct. There is water vapor in and around in this environment right now. We have got moisture. It was so cold that what it did, it started to cool the water vapor in the vicinity. And those water vapor changed their state from what? Gas to liquid. And that appears as water droplets. So while you should be interested to drink the water which is very pure, ये मत समझना पानी बर्बाद मत करना, यहां से भी चख लो, वो सब डस्ट है. हाँ, एटमॉस्फेयर का वाटर वेपर ही तो बाहर गिर रहा है ना. मजा लो साइंस का. अंदर का पानी प्योर है, बाहर का पानी तो गंदा है. And when you get and see, we go to some Kashmir and all, and you just take some stone and आज मैंने आइस फेंका, वो सब कुछ नहीं. पिछले दिन वो सब कीचड़ था, आज फ्रीज होके आइस बन गया. And you pick them up and you just click pictures. If that was in liquid form, you would not like to look at that water also. Am I speaking something wrong? नहीं. घर के पानी से थोड़ी आइस बना था रात को, वो तो रोड का पानी है ना. होता है ना. Once you go to hill station, first time when you see ice, you just pick up ice from every place that you see. Mama ice, mama ice. और कुछ नहीं, वो सब गंदा पानी है. फ्रीज हो गया रात भर में और उसको आप हाथ में लेके देखते हो, तब गंदगी का एहसास नहीं हो। एक प्रोसेस समझ में आया। सब्लिमेशन को हम अलग से अटैक करेंगे। तो आवर जॉब इज टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस प्रोसेस ऑफ मेल्टिंग। आइए बिफोर वी एंड टुडे कुछ तो बेसिक समझते हैं। लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज melting. Melting is a process in which, this is a process in which solid transforms to liquid. This we also know from our kiddo days. What is very interesting is that during this process, the temperature remains constant. Now, this is what is going to bother us. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Temperature remains constant. It means that I had 1 kg of ice. 1 kg ice. Time was 0900. Do I expect 1 kg of ice to immediately become water? No. थोड़ा time लगेगा. मान लो ये पूरा मेल्ट होने में 9:30 हो गया. It's 9:30 and now it is what? Water 100%. Do you agree? बीच का एक टाइम ले लेते हैं, say something like 9:20. 9:20 में कैसा रहा होगा? 9:20 में 40% would have been still ice roughly and 60% would have been still liquid. Do you agree or not? At what temperature ice is formed? 0 degree. Temperature here also will be 0 degree, here also will be 0 degree, here also will be 0 degree. Now this is what causes us problem. Melting is a constant temperature process. आप शायद सोच रहे होंगे कि यहां से यहां जाते वक्त टेम्परेचर बढ़ गया होगा. No, temperature does not increase. If you take 1 minute beta, if you take a pack of milk and you have frozen the pack of milk, right? Fridge में रख दिए हो, deep freeze में, frozen. And then you take out that milk packet and cut off the paper because the paper will be now stuck to the milk because it has become all ice. और उस milk के body में एक thermometer लगा के रख दीजिए. And keep it in a normal room where the temperature does not go up. You cannot allow other external forces to change the temperature. Are you understanding? एक normal room में रख दीजिए. Slowly the milk will melt. आपका थर्मोमीटर में कोई टेम्परेचर ऊपर नहीं बढ़ेगा. कब तक? जब तक पूरा आइस मिल्क लिक्विड ना बन गया हो. Isn't it very strange? So in higher grades they will ask you, is melting a constant temperature process? Yes, melting is a constant temperature process. So the definition that I wrote here was a very kiddo definition. Now let's revise it. What is melting? Melting is a process in which a sample of solid transforms itself to 100% liquid at a constant temperature, provided the pressure is constant. Don't change the pressure of that environment. We can't change it because right now, what is the pressure around us? 1 atmosphere, grade 8 topic. We are under 1 atmosphere pressure. The pressure is not expected to change. क्योंकि अगर आपने pressure change कर दिया, तो ये सारा mathematics बिगड़ जाएगा. So if pressure is kept constant, melting is a constant temperature process. And I'll end it. I'll give me 5 more minutes, okay? So we will carry this in next class also. Just try to understand. Let's say for ice, this is how much? 0 degrees Celsius. Have you understood? Now I have kept some ice out here, right? I am starting to heat this ice. So this is temperature and this is time. We will draw this graph very properly in our next class, but see how the graph will behave. The temperature will initially rise up till here, up till this point. Temperature बढ़ेगा if you are heating. What do you expect the state here to be? Solid. अभी भी हमारा ice पिघला नहीं है. At this point, the first ice will melt and the first droplet of water will be created. Now what do I expect hence on? More formation of water. Time लेगा ना थोड़ा सा. This is the time axis. So my graph will now no more rise. Temperature is no more rising. it has become constant. This is what I was saying. So here I was what? Here I was 100% solid. Here I get my first liquid formation. Have you got it? In between, I have got solid and liquid both till I reach a point here. And at this point, what is the beauty of it? At this point, it is 100% now liquid. यहां से यहां तक टेम्परेचर क्या रहेगा? 0 डिग्री ही रहेगा. इसके बाद वी आर स्टिल कंटिन्यूइंग टू हीट इट. हम तो बाहर से हीट सप्लाई कर ही रहे हैं. वी आर हीटिंग इट. अदरवाइज इट वोंट मेल्ट. हमें तो हीट देना ही है. सर, हाउ आर यू हीटिंग? आई हैव केप्ट इट आउटसाइड. Outside temperature is heating it. After this, again temperature will start rising to a particular point. Can you guess what is that point? 100 degrees. Now, in between this process, just tell me, this is liquid. You will see everything liquid out here. At this point, the first gas formation will take place. First gas. ठीक है ना? क्या शुरू हो गया? बॉइलिंग होना शुरू हो गया है. ये क्या था? ये था मेल्टिंग. यहां पे बॉइलिंग शुरू होना स्टार्ट हुआ. अगेन द टेम्परेचर विल बिकम कांस्टेंट. सो दिस इज फर्स्ट गैस. हियर आई विल हैव Lg, लिक्विड एंड गैस, until I come and reach a point, this point. इस पॉइंट पे क्या हो जाएगा बेटा? 100% गैस हो जाएगा. Okay? At this point I will get 100% gas. What is this process known as? Vaporization, or I'll call it as boiling. Are you understanding? इसके बाद अगर आप हीट करोगे, if you start heating it further, then again temperature will rise. यहां से सब कुछ क्या मिलेगा? What is the state you are expecting here? Everything will be gas. क्योंकि यहां पे था liquid, liquid गर्म होते first gas, then liquid is converting to gas. Out here everything has become gas. Means in the case of water, what it is? Steam. और यहां से आगे क्या हो जाएगा? All steam. In engineering, we call this steam as dry steam. Dry steam का मतलब क्या है? इतना गर्म है कि इसमें कोई मॉइस्चर या पानी नहीं है ना? कुछ, everything is dry. There's no liquid. Now question comes. Say suppose I want to punish our fellow Aryash. And he is the new बहू in my house and I am the जालिम सास. और इस बहू को मुझे टॉर्चर करना है. कैसे? इसका हाथ जलाना है. Just imagine, very weird example, but there is always fun. बहू का हाथ जलाना है. तो बहू का हाथ जलाने के लिए मेरे पास 2 चॉइस है. मैं आर्यश का हाथ 100 डिग्रीज, यहां पे क्या है? यहां पे 100 डिग्रीज बॉइलिंग वाटर है. ठीक है ना? और यहां पे क्या है? यहां भी तो टेम्परेचर 100 डिग्री है सेल्सियस. ये क्या है? गैस. डू यू एग्री? मेरे पास 2 ऑप्शन है. एक सॉसपेन में वाटर इज बॉइलिंग और एक सॉसपेन में स्टीम है. मैं इसका हाथ किस में डुबाऊं? मुझे आंसर नहीं, एक्सप्लेनेशन चाहिए. आई एम दैट जालिम सांस. आई वांट टू टॉर्चर हिम. मींस ही शुड गेट मोर पेन. किसमें डालूं इसका हाथ? 100 degrees of liquid water, boiling water, and 100 degrees of steam. How many of you people have boiled eggs at home? Sometime. ढक के. जब आप boiled egg को ढक के करते हैं, slowly the lid start कर ऐसा होता है ना, उसको जैसे ही उठाते हो एक छटका नहीं लग जाता है? If I am the zalim sas, I should put 100 steam on his hand. While both are 100 degrees Celsius, this fellow has more heat content inside him. He took heat, this fellow took heat only till 9:30. But here heat was supplied till 10 o'clock. आधा घंटा ज्यादा heat गया है. And the burn he will get will be much more severe for this. That's why they say steam causes much more severe burn than boiling water at same temperature. That is the beauty. That's why I tell you not to put your head down and keep writing that Ramayana. Listen and enjoy chemistry. Now your heart is not agreeing to it, na? So we must find an explanation. Steam contains more heat. Have you understood? I am telling you it contains more heat. That is your ignorance. You are arguing with me without understanding. So if I want to give him more burn, I should put steam on him. इसीलिए कभी भी खाना पकते वक्त, if you take out the lid, if you have experienced it, immediately the steam will burn your hand. Have you experienced? Steam causes immediate झटका लगेगा. Now the reverse question. The zalim सास has become very caring. और मेरे बहू का हाथ जल गया, मैं उसको कंफर्ट देना चाहता हूं. What do I want to give? Comfort to my bahu. She has burnt her hand. Now, as a zalim saas, I have a choice of putting 0 degrees water on her hand and 0 degrees ice on her hand. I want to give her comfort. Comfort means what? Take away his pain. What should I use? 0 degree ice, because the heat content of ice is less as compared to the. और ऐसे भी दिमाग लगाओ, अगर मैं इसका हाथ जल गया ना, तो हाथ तो गर्म है. अगर मैं इसके हाथ में अभी 0 डिग्रीज वाटर रखूं, तो 0 डिग्रीज वाटर थोड़ी देर में हीट होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. 0 degrees water will heat up because the hand is already burnt. It is hot. It will heat the water. So water's temperature is going to go up. My bahu will not get the comfort. But if I put 0 degree ice on her hand, on his hand, my bahu cannot be his. My bahu is her. So if the bahu's hand I put 0 degree ice, the ice temperature will rise. But it is in solid form. It still has a lot of time to become liquid. What is the temperature of the ice? Still at 0. My bahu says, सासुमा आपके जैसा कोई मम्मी नहीं, आप कितनी प्यारी मम्मी हो. Now, why this happens, we understand in next class. So, like melting is a constant temperature process, boiling is also a constant temperature process. That means you now climbed up the stairs. Let's come back way. Condensation should also be a constant temperature process, and freezing should also be a constant temperature process. Ninth is interesting and tough. अगर आप attention नहीं देंगे तो आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा. Have you understood this? What is melting? Melting is the process at which a sample of solid converts itself fully. So melting कौन सा है? ये पूरा process melting है. Melting is not this. Melting is not this. This entire thing where you convert yourself fully to liquid. What is boiling? Boiling is a process at which a sample of liquid converts itself fully to gas. During this, so boiling took place from 9:30 to 10 o'clock. Aadha ghanta this process was. And during this process, the temperature will be 100 degree. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.